Hey, what's up, my Wolfpack? It's Wolfmaster here, and I'm back for another Card Fight Vanguard deck profile showing my chain. Sickle Stealth Rogue Unifundo. This is the starter for my Murakumo deck, which is called Gyaku Genjutsu 2.0, which is called Reverse Illusion Art, because I love using Hyaku Reverse. Before I get started with this video, I just want to say, I want to give a shout out to my friend, Close. She's a really great, person. She's really cool. I'll leave, a link to her channel in the description down below so you can check her out. She does some pretty awesome song covers, and she's been playing, Call of Duty Black Ops with a friend of hers, and she's pretty good, so yeah, be sure to check her out, like, comment, and subscribe to her channel. And yeah, let's get started with this. This card's ability is that it's Generation Break 1, and at the start of your main phase, you Soul Blast 1, and then you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, search for one of them, and call it to the rear guard, shuffle your deck, and at the end of the turn, the unit you called with this effect goes at the bottom of your deck. So, yeah, this is really good considering Murakumo's main objective is to get cards out onto the field and multiply. Just like Shadow Clone Jutsu. So, yeah. Alright, now let's move on to my trigger lineup. Alright, so for my triggers, it's pretty standard. We got 4 crits. It's the Dirk Stealth Rogue Yaiba. We got 4 more criticals with Stealth Beast Cat Devil. Its abilities: you put it into the soul, choose a Murakumo rear guard, well, any Murakumo unit, and give it an extra 3,000 until the end of turn. Got 4 of the Stealth Dragon Hidden Scroll. Sorry that the quality doesn't look so good. I'm trying to keep the camera still. Anyway, basically, this card's ability is that when it's placed onto the rear guard, you can put it to the top of your deck and then choose one of your rear guards, and then you can search your deck for up to 2 copies of that card, and then put them into separate rear guard circles, and then at the end of the turn, they go to the bottom of your deck in any order, but I don't really understand why it says that, because, it's the same card. So yeah, you definitely want this guy in your deck. And then lastly, 4 heal triggers in the form of Stealth Fiend Yukahime. Heal trigger. You always have to run a heal trigger in your deck. You just have to. So yeah, I mean, you could make this into a 12 crit deck, but I feel the stand trigger really, really helps out this deck, especially for the boss stride of the deck. So, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to add more crits to it, I would honestly just suggest taking only 2 out, and you could put in 2 more crits, have a 10 crit deck, but I like my trigger build up the way it is right now. So, yeah, moving on to Grade 1. Alright, so next up, my Grade 1 lineup. We got 4 of the Perfect Guard Stealth Beast White Heron. Its ability is discard a card from your hand. When you guard it, it guards the attack completely, and if you have another copy of this in the drop zone, you can unflip a card in your damage zone. So that helps, because this deck can be a little counterblast heavy, and you do need that. Next up, 4 of the Stride Fodder, which is Gateway Stealth Rogue Ataka. Yeah, when it's called to the rear guard, choose a grade 3 in your hand, reveal it to your opponent, search your deck for a grade 3 with Yatsuie in the name, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and then choose a card in your hand to send to the drop zone. And his other effect is that he counts as a grade 3 when you stride. And next up, 4 Stealth Beast Charcoal Fox. This card's ability is Generation Break 1. When it's placed onto the rear guard, you choose up to 4 of your Stealth Beast Charcoal Fox, and they get an extra 2,000 until the end of the turn. This is pretty much your main booster that you want to have with this deck. What you want to call out most of the time. And lastly, 2 Stealth Fiend Oboro card. Its ability is when it's placed onto the Vanguard or Rear Guard circle and you have a Murakumo Vanguard, you can pay the cost of 1, and then you choose one of your Murakumo Rear Guards that's not him, search your deck for a copy of that card, and put it onto the rear guard, and at the end of the turn, you put that unit to the bottom of your deck. So this really helps because I love using Gyaku Vogue Reverse, and if I want to get the Limit Break effect off, I can use this guy, call out a third one, and, you know, lock something else in the back row and just go at it. So yeah, that's my grade 1 lineup, and yeah, I'm moving on to grade 2s. Grade 2s are pretty, self-explanatory. We got 4 Stealth Dragon Rune Star. Its ability is Generation Break 1. When it attacks the Vanguard and it's boosted, you can counterblast 1. Search for a copy of this card from your deck, put it onto the rear guard, and shuffle your deck. And at the end of the turn, the unit you called with this effect goes into your hand. So that helps out if you want a little extra muscle on the field, but you don't want to give up a card in your hand, straight away. You never know if you're going to need something to stride with, or, you just never know. So he's really great to have. And then 4 copies of the Stealth Rogue of Flowered Hat Fujino. Its ability is that when another of your Stealth Rogue of the Flowered Hat Fujino is placed onto the rear guard, or this card gets 2,000 power, and it gets the ability where if her attack hits the opponent's Vanguard, you choose a card in your damage zone and flip it face up. And this is pretty much a stacking effect. So, if let's say you call this out and you decide to call out Hidden Scroll. Call out 2, this will get an extra 4,000 power, and if it hits, unflip 2 damage. So awesome right there. And lastly, for the grade 2s, are 3 Tenjiku Stealth Rogue Dokube, Generation Break 1. When it attacks the Vanguard, gets an extra 3,000 power, pretty much the 12k attacker of the deck. Yeah, I definitely would love to replace this card. If you guys can give me a better grade 2 I could put in this deck to replace him, let me know in the comments below. So, yeah, let's move on to the boss cards, grade 3s. Alright, coming in is the grade 3s of the deck. First up, 4 of my favorite Murakumo unit, Stealth Covert Demonic Dragon Gyaku Vogue Reverse. His Limit Break ability is that you choose 2 of your Murakumo rear guards, lock them, and choose up to 3 of this card, and then they get an extra 10,000 at the end of the turn. So yeah, that is really awesome. And his other ability is that when he's placed onto the Vanguard circle, you can counterblast 2, search your deck for a copy of this card, call it to the rear guard, and at the end of the turn, you can put the unit you called with this into your hand. So that helps out with if you want a little extra muscle in your rear guard. And, once you ride that, you can have something to stride with next turn. And this is going to be awesome considering there's going to be a Gyaku Vogue Stride coming out soon. I don't remember the full effects, but, all I remember was it was awesome. And then, finally, this is pretty much the main grade 3 you want to ride to get most of your multiplying combos off. Stealth Rogue of Revelation Yasuie. His first ability, Generation Break 2, is that once per turn, when your rear guard is put into the deck due to one of your card effects, you search your deck for 1 card of the same name of that card, and call it to the rear guard, shuffle your deck. And his other ability is that when you stride on top of him, choose one of your rear guards, and then call up to 2 copies of that card from the deck. And at the end of the turn, you put those guys at the bottom of your deck in any order. So, yeah, that's the boss cards. These are the Grade 3s. Now we're moving on to the Stride deck. Let's do this. Generation Stride! First up, 2 copies of Ambush Demon Stealth Fiend Ushimitsu Train. Its ability is when this card's attack hits the opponent's vanguard, you can choose one of your rear guards, and then search your deck for up to 2 copies of that card, and call them to separate rear guard circles, shuffle your deck, and at the end of the turn, you put those 2 cards at the bottom of the deck. I mean, this card's good, but I would honestly want to take 1 out so I could put 1 more copy of the next Stride of the deck, which is 2 Ambush Demon Stealth Rogue Kagami Jishi. Its ability is that when your unit is placed onto the rearguard circle, and if you have 2 or more units with the same name as that unit, until the end of the turn, it gets 2,000 power and the ability to attack from the back row. So let's say you stride this on top of Yasuie, choose the Flowered Hat Stealth Rogue, you call up to 2 copies, they'll get an extra 2,000. The one you copied will get an extra 4,000 because you call 2 out. They'll get an extra 2,000. They can attack from the back row. It's very awesome. With that, you can pretty much do up to, 5 attacks in a turn. It's just awesome. And next up, the boss Stride of the deck. Let's do this. Wolfpack Generation Stride! Ambush Demon Stealth Dragon Humura Raider. That's right, 4 copies of this bad boy. Its ability is that you can counterblast 2, choose a face-down copy of this in your G deck and flip it face up. And then if the number of cards in your G zone is 2 or more, until the end of the turn, this card's drive check is -1, but it gets the ability after he attacks the opponent's vanguard. You can choose 3 of your rear guards with the same name, shuffle them back into the deck, and then this guy stands back up. So yeah, you can pretty much get, 4 drive checks instead of 3 with this guy. He's pretty much the main objective of your deck. He's just a beast. So yeah, that is the Stride deck. Alright guys, so that was my Murakumo deck. Gyaku Genjutsu 2.0 Reverse Illusion Art. Alright, be sure to tell me what you guys think about it in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think I can do to make it better. I'm always open up to suggestions. And don't forget to check out my friend Close's channel. She does awesome song covers. She's just great at what she does. Be sure to check out her channel. Yeah, I can't even describe. She's awesome. Check her out. Subscribe. Anyway, on New Year's, I'll definitely come back for another deck profile. I'll show you guys my Genesis deck, which focuses on Mythic Beast Fenrir. So look forward to that. I'm definitely gonna post a video on New Year's Day. So I will see you guys in the next video. Keep howling my Wolfpack and break ride Legion Mate and stride that like button because that stuff is just great for the Vanguard. I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Ow!